I'm Jim Kramer, standing here next to Bigfoot number 6. Bigfoot number 6 is primarily used in indoor stadiums for car crushing and sled pulling. Now, to be able to withstand these rigors, we had to redesign this truck and upgrade it from, say, Bigfoot number 4. And in order to do that, what we did is build in a lot more strength and change the componentry. Let me show you this truck. Bigfoot 6 uses a 472 cubic inch supercharged Ford engine. It uses a 671 BDS blower with 2 Predator racing carburetors on top. This gives us about 650 horsepower. It uses a ladder type frame, tempered leaf springs with a timber and rubber spring as a helper in this area, and also back on the axle support system. This axle strut helps take the force of hitting cars at 30 miles an hour. We also use nitrogen-charged gas shocks. This is very important for when you come down after you do hit those cars. You don't want any aeration in the shock itself, and the nitrogen charge keeps the aeration out. All the suspension components have to control this axle. This axle is what we call a combination axle, using a 5-ton center section with an agricultural tractor-type tip. It takes a lot of work and engineering to incorporate them, but that's the kind of axle it takes to be able to control the weight and the horsepower these monster trucks have. Behind the cabin, well down into the frame, you'll see 2 air brake boosters here. This is the split brake system. Behind the brake system, you'll see a bank of solenoids. This is an automatic rear steering system. Behind the automatic rear steering system, we have the actual pumps. It's electric over hydraulic pumps that actually operates the back steering. Behind the steering pumps, a fuel cell. This has a special foam inside of it to keep the fuel from sloshing around in the tank, and also has a special valve, and in case the truck does turn over, it keeps fuel from wanting to drip out. Behind the fuel cell are the batteries. We use 2 1100 amp HD batteries. All these components were in the bed. We've taken them and put them down in the frame for 2 reasons. They're better protected down here, and plus it takes the center of gravity and brings it down a lot lower and makes the truck handle a lot better. In the interior, instead of the chrome thin wall bar we used to use, we use a thick wall frame mounted roll cage, diagonally and X-brace in the back, and also padded around the driver's head. We use a special seat now that wraps around the driver and helps hold him, gives a lot more rigidity. We use a kill switch on the dash. If the driver has trouble, he can simply reach up, hit the kill switch, and shut the truck off. We use a kill switch on the back bumper in case a fireman, a track official back there, if the truck is rolled over or in a bad position, you come up and pull that chain and the truck will die. We also have incorporated a radio remote control kill switch. The truck can be stopped from the other end of the arena if need be. With the progression of Monster Truck Motorsports, the features that I have pointed out to you on Bigfoot number 6 have helped to make a better performing and safer truck.
Okay, I'm Gary Porter from Wadesboro, North Carolina, the owner and driver of Carolina Crusher. This is the all-new '89 Chevrolet. It was built in December of '88, and I started racing in January of '89. It has a blown 468 cubic inch Chevrolet motor in it, putting out approximately 925 horsepower. And it runs the Allison AT540 4-speed automatic. And one of the changes I done in this truck was I put a profab transfer case in it. It's a quick change transfer case that gives me any ratio I want on different courses. The frame is lighter, the radiator, gas tank, batteries, and everything possibly I can move to the back is in the rear of the truck to get the weight distributed better. In order to cut weight in every possible place, we drilled holes in the calf mounts, in the cross members, in the shock mounts, and every other place that we felt it was possible, and the truck would still be as strong. The truck weighs approximately 2,000 pounds lighter than the other truck. It weighs 13,500 pounds. The paint on it is a '78 Corvette yellow, painted by Terry Conklin out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, and the graphics are by Jim Norris out of Wallace, South Carolina. The truck is sponsored by Porter's 4-Wheel Drive Center, which my brother owns, and Big A Auto Parts. Special thanks to Yates Tyson.
Tell him that they're ready, and then he'll let them fly. Carolina Crusher!
I'm Dennis Anderson with the Gravedigger. I'm the owner and driver. And this is the second of the Gravedigger trucks. I've got two of them. This truck here is a Chevrolet body. I used to run a Ford body, but it's a 1950 Chevrolet panel truck. Another interesting feature on my truck is I run the motor in the rear. I run the motor in the rear to keep the front end up as much as possible and keep all the pressure off the front of it. I'm running a 2,000 horsepower 557 Rodak with a set of Bachmann aluminum heads on it. I run a turbo 400 transmission. I run a Profab gearbox in it. We've got quick change gears for the truck, so we gear for short courses, we gear up for long courses. I run these 6650 steel flotation tires on it. They're a little bit wider than everybody else's. Most trucks out on the circuit run a planetary axle. There's a couple of us that just run right off the axle shaft. This truck here, I'm running a set of Timken rears that came out of a big aircraft mover. They're rated at 10 ton. They've got a 3-inch axle shaft in them. I've got a 900 gear ratio, the hog's head. These axles are a little bit lighter than planetaries, and you can get more power running right off the axle shaft. That's why I chose to run these axles. And we've got a real good braking system on this new truck. We hook up a disc brake right off the pinion shaft on the trucks, in which most of the guys do. I've got one of the wildest paint jobs on the circuit. It's a graveyard scene. It's got tombstones in the background of it with a wrought iron fence that follows it all the way around. I've got reserved tombstones on the side of the truck for all my buddies that I race with. I've got USA 1, Gravedigger, Bigfoot, and Stomper Bully on them. I came up with the name Gravedigger by running in the mud. And I used to dig graves for my buddies in the mud bog, so we just ran the Gravedigger off as a monster truck. Now I'm digging graves for all my competitors out there now.
Hi, I'm Dan Patrick. I'm the owner and the driver of the Samson monster truck. It's a 1989 Chevrolet Silverado. It is powered by a 454 cubic inch Chevrolet engine. It is set on a 2.5-ton military frame, which is a lot stronger than a standard Chevrolet frame to take the abuse we put it through. The frame is mounted on 5-ton military rear ends, which is a lot stronger than your standard Chevrolet rear ends, to turn the 5.5-foot tall tires to climb over the cars we have to run over, or the mountains of dirt, or whatever we're into as far as the competition racing. The motor has a supercharger, which gives it extra horsepower, and a fuel injection system, which gives it more fuel for extra horsepower. It has a turbo 400 transmission, which transfers the power into a transfer case, which transfers that on down into the rear ends. The truck weighs 13,800 pounds, and that is with the tires, and the tires weigh 950 pounds. Like in any other types of competition, you need safety equipment. As the driver, I wear a 6-layer fireproof suit. So in case of a fire, I am protected until I get out of the vehicle and get to safety. Also, I wear a very protective helmet. At any time, I have a kill switch inside the vehicle that I can shut the motor off at an instant. Also, as a safety precaution, in this vehicle is a remote kill switch. It allows the track official to carry a remote control that will kill all power to the vehicle in case we get out of control. Also, safety equipment on the vehicle to protect all people concerned, the driver, the track crew, or the spectator, is a transmission blanket that shrouds the transmission in case of an explosion. It will contain it all inside this blow-proof blanket. Also, the drive shafts are looped with loops in case a drive shaft breaks. If a universal breaks, it is enclosed in this 3/8 diameter aluminum, and that will keep all pieces contained in the vehicle. It's that way they just fall out on the ground. On the engine, we have blower restraining straps, and what that does, in case of an explosion where the blower comes off, this strap will keep the blower on top of the engine and allow it enough room just to get the initial blast out from under the supercharger. Then the blower will set right back down on the motor until it can be repaired.
Hi, I'm Bob Chandler, Chief Executive Officer of MTRA, the Monster Truck Racing Association, the only organization that is dedicated to the safety of monster trucks and monster truck racing. We're here today in front of the Sydney Opera House in Sydney, Australia. We're on a tour with the United Sports of America of Kansas City, of 4 cities in Australia. We started in Melbourne 2 weeks ago. Last weekend we were in Brisbane. This weekend is Sydney, and next weekend is in Perth. As far as I know, this is the first international event of monster trucks. We have 3 countries involved here. From the United States, we have Bigfoot with Jim Kramer and Ken Kelling driving. And from New Zealand, we have Kiwi Thunder with Mike Parks driving. And from here in Australia, we have the Aussie Battler with Ed Mulligan driving. All the vehicles at this international event are MTRA members. What I'd like to talk to you today about is the safety equipment required by MTRA on these monster trucks. We start out requiring shields on the engine, on the transmission, on the drive shafts, on the drive shaft U-joints, on the bell housings, on the clutch, on the torque converters, on anything that could possibly explode and hurt the driver or the crowd. We also require these trucks with superchargers to have aluminum studs, blower restraints, guards for the pulleys. We also require kill switches in the cab so the driver can stop the truck with just one easy movement of his arm, and a secondary kill switch also on the back of the trucks. So if the truck were ever to roll, anybody could run up to this truck and pull this pin, and it would stop all the electrical, the fuel pumps. It would really protect the driver. There's quite a few of these rules designed specifically for the driver himself, starting with an approved helmet, a neck collar to protect him from whiplash, a kidney belt, a whole fire suit the driver must wear. He's got to have a seat belt on, a shoulder harness. He's got to have a fire extinguisher with easy reach of himself. And he also has to have a 6-point roll cage to protect him in case of a rollover. Probably half the cost of these monster trucks is safety equipment required by MTRA. So when you see that MTRA decal on the vehicle or the MTRA license plate, give that driver an extra round of applause. You know he has spent a lot of time and money to protect you as a spectator and himself as a driver.
Hi, my name is Marvin Smith. I'm from Arnold, Missouri. I'm the driver of Stomper 2 behind me. There are 2 Stomper trucks, Stomper 1 and Stomper 2. Stomper 1 is owned by TNT Motorsports, and this one here is owned by me, sponsored by TNT Motorsports. This truck has been on the circuit for approximately 5 years now. I've driven it for 5 years. It was originally called a Crimson Giant until I changed the name over to Stomper. This truck is powered by a 468 cubic inch big block Chevrolet blown with an 871 blower and 2 Predator carburetors. It's also equipped with a 400 turbo, SCS gearboxes, quick change in front, and a transfer case in back. That's for the weight difference. The truck weighs approximately 13,800 pounds. It has 20-ton planetaries on the outside with 5-ton centers. It has driveline brakes, front and rear. It has a front and rear master cylinder for safety's sake. It has drive shaft loops. It's an MTRA vehicle. It's equipped with all the latest safety equipment to try to make it as safe as possible. It has a remote kill switch for the safety of the people in the stands. This truck here, since it's been the Stomper truck, it hasn't rolled yet, knock on wood. But the other Stomper truck, Stomper 1, about 1.5 years ago, driven by Mike Witt, was rolled over in Charlotte, North Carolina in a competition, and also again in Louisville, Kentucky, back in the summer, racing against Bigfoot in the semifinals. Thank goodness nobody's been hurt in any of these trucks yet. They're all very, very safe. They're equipped with roll bars and every safety factor that we can put into them.
Here's Mike Witt again now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a nice round of applause.
Hi, my name is Rod Litzow, the driver of USA 1. USA 1 is based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. USA 1 is powered by a big block Chevrolet 572 running 3 Predator carbs with an 871 blower. One unique thing with this truck is it has a stock frame that we totally beefed it up, boxed it. All other trucks are running the tubular square frames, and we kept with this one original. We're trying to keep everything. The interior is original, the body's original, everything is original on this truck. One thing different with this truck is that we're running the 5-ton military axles on here, which are a lot lighter than most trucks are running the planetaries, which helps keep this truck one of the lightest trucks on the tour. We've been fortunate that we have True Value Hardware and Chevrolet been sponsoring us with this truck. Yeah, one of the outstanding features with this truck is the custom paint job that we put on it, which is from Glazereth paint. It's a custom Prism Pearl blue with the white, giving it the blue effect in the white paint, which Everett Jasmer has always wanted a blue truck, and we just came up with this scheme through Glazereth and come up with this paint job. A question that people ask me all the time is what it was like to roll over in this truck. I've rolled this truck 3 times now, but in my case, all the rollovers that I've had have been kind of a weird, slow rollovers. I've never rolled at any high speeds yet. So for me, it wasn't that bad a feeling, but it is always a scary feeling with this much weight coming over upside down on top of you.